Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, depending on your time zone. We are back with another live stream for Stranded Alien Dawn, and I am really excited to do this one because it is the long anticipated, or at least delayed list for our seed recommendations that I was putting together. I do have the list, it is ready. What I do not have is a fully recorded video of said list in its totality. So we're gonna go ahead and do that as a live stream instead of as an edited video today. And just so we can kick that off, let me go ahead and switch screens. Actually, I'm gonna have a sip of coffee and then I'll switch screens. Give me 1 second. We are just about ready. We are just about there. All right. Hello. Like I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, or happy Sunday. Whichever works for you. I know that not everybody's technically even on the same day, depending on time zones. Some people it's Sunday, some people it might be Monday. I don't know. It's Sunday for me, so we're gonna say Sunday for now. I am trying to set this up here so that we can look at our list. Okay, so I'm going to hopefully I have not messed this up. I'm going to switch screens real quick. There we are. And what we have here is the list of seeds. So we have been collecting, and by we I mean I have been collecting all of your recommendations on my seeds videos and on my streams and anywhere else you've left a comment suggesting a seed and all the reasons why you suggested it. So we are going to run through this list today. We're going to check out all the best seeds from the community, from the player base who have found their favorite seeds and who have shared them with me. So I'm going to share them with you guys. And in order to do that, I just want to kind of give you guys a quick look at these comments. I will go over them as we're in the game, but before we get into the game, I first wanted to show you like just a scroll through. And of course you can like pause me at any time to stop and read these. You can come back and revisit the screen if you would like to. But yeah, these are some of the seeds that we're going to look at today. Hopefully all of them. We'll see how far we get on the list. But hopefully we'll get through all of these seeds. So into the game we go. And I am going to just make one small adjustment on my end so that hopefully I can also keep an eye on the chat as well in case you guys want to leave any comments on this live stream as we go about. All right, in order to look at our first seed, I'm gonna have to start new game. So we're gonna be doing this quite a bit. We're gonna go to the new game screen and we are going to adjust these settings so that we can check out these seeds. And first and foremost, prop that up, we are gonna look at, oh, and by the way, by default, I'm assuming any seed that does not specify a region, it is Cebrius. I'm going to assume that because it is the default region. So if you would like to recommend a seed, please remember to include not just the seed name, but the region as well, because that definitely makes a huge difference if we don't get the region right when we're reviewing these. So if you don't say it, I'm going to assume it's the Cebrius region. I don't really mess with the moons too much when we're doing seed videos. I don't think it impacts the seed so much as it impacts the gameplay, and we're not going to get that far into gameplay. We're just looking at the seeds right now. So we're going to assume that this first one is going to be Cebrius because it's not mentioned, which it is. And then the seed name itself, and as we've already learned, a lot of these are case sensitive. So I gotta make sure I write them with the exact same case as they were suggested. And the first one is garden value. And we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna roll with whatever crew they automatically give us, because we're not gonna stick around to see how they do. This first one was suggested because it was a very interesting map, a lot of forests and mountains, and hopefully the audio from the game is not covering up this part. And the person who suggested it, Status Quo, thank you. They said that it is not an easy one, but it is very interesting, so we're gonna check it out. We're gonna let them finish crashing first. That one like right by the front of screen. Yeah, okay, so I think all of the falling pieces that are gonna fall have fallen, they have crashed. I'm just spinning around taking a look. And we'll do this systematically, right? Like just like we do in the other videos. Hello, by the way, welcome to the stream. And we are gonna look at the, oh gosh. Why am I blanking right now? We're gonna look at the technology, thank you. It totally evaded me for a second there. So we are going to look at what breakthroughs each seed comes with. We're going to look at the topography. We're going to look at the resources that are readily available nearby, like in close visual proximity. And that's basically how I usually judge my seed quality. Like, we can't really get deep into the weeds of, is the ground like 100% fertile? What is like the best crop for that kind of thing. We're not going to get into all of that, but the obvious things, like the obvious things at a glance, we'll be able to like review and check out and take into consideration. So breakthroughs for garden tech value, all caps, we have ore prospecting, sleep training. I know I'm going to say this wrong. Somebody already explained to me how to pronounce this correctly, and I've since forgotten. I know it's not chitlin synthetics because that's what I normally say. And it turns out that's not how you say this. But yeah, the synthetics, hay cloth, hay sausage, meat printing. Wow, there's a lot of breakthroughs. I remember when there used to just be 5. Look at this. This must be something to do with my mods. So we're just gonna tack off the top 5. And anything extra, I'm going to assume it has to do with mods. And in fact, I'll try to turn off mods when we run through the next one so that we don't have this conflation going on. For the surrounding area, let's zoom out and take a quick look around. It's a very mountainous region for sure. Tons and tons of timber. It looks like we're gonna also have plenty of mining as well, because all of these rocks going up the face of this mountain. We're gonna have lots and lots of rocks, lots of trees. So it's very resource rich in building material. Immediately to our, I don't know if this is our left or whatever, because I don't remember how we were oriented to start with, but we have the purple twisted leaf plants here that make for great cloth or cloth substitute. What else do we seem to have readily available? I mean, we definitely have herds. There's gonna be lots and lots of herds here in this mountainous region. Plenty of salvageable debris, because like we have that one, we have the 2 that crashed right beside us, the one that's up here in the hill. Yeah, there's tons and tons and tons of salvageable material. Oh look, there is a little like pond. There's like a pond here, a little puddle of water, and some more salvage material up here. If you're into like harvesting these feathers, or if you want to tame these birds, they're right there. I've seen cloth blossom right here up by this little wet pond. It's a muddy pond. It's like definitely like really small body of water, but I'll take it, you know. I'll take what I can get when it comes to my body of water. Hello, Poke Latte. Good to see you. Looks like chitin for the not chitlin synthetics. Chitin synthetics, maybe it is. I don't know why. I'm such a phonetic reader, you guys. I'm gonna butcher pronunciation. It's gonna be an inevitable thing. I apologize for it. I've been working on it since childhood, you know, but For some reason, I just default to that. I always pronounce it, yeah, I don't want to say that out loud, but I hear you. I feel like that would be an easy second default to fall back on. Here we have the grain cob. It's really close to the crash landing site, so you come up here, research it, and then plant it even closer to wherever you're building your fortifications. I'm seeing glowing in the trees back here, which tells me that the mushrooms will spawn right here, so super close by. Those are gonna glow. Those are gonna glow. Those are gonna grow. Look! Oh gosh! Forget the muddy pond. We've got a whole lake over here. Alright, so there's a giant lake in this direction. Yeah, I love this seed. It's beautiful. The mountains are beautiful. The trees are beautiful. The water is beautiful. I found like 3 resources. Here we have hay, we have smoke leaf, 4 or 5, I don't know, what are we at, 6 resources now. Here we have the ores. Yeah, there seems to be plenty of resources nearby. I don't think anybody's going to be hurting for resources on this seed. I agree with Status Quo, who originally suggested it. This is a good seed. Hello, yes, hello Cam. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm glad you were able to make it this morning or whatever time it is for you. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday. Sadly, our weekend is fast. It is sunsetting fast on our weekend. I don't love that for us. It's an unfortunate thing. All right, so let's go back to the main menu. We're gonna check out our next seed. So we're not gonna save any progress from any of these. That's not what we're gonna do. What I do want to do real quick, mod manager, I'm going to turn them all off so that I make sure that we're going to call this mod less, I guess. Okay, that was weird. Did I do that? What did I do? I guess it's my first time turning it off. I've never... Okay. I'm learning something new. I guess we're gonna restart this game. It's okay, because we're gonna restart it anyway. We're gonna restart, pick a new seed, and explore new options. So, new game. What am I doing here? Tutorials, load game. Oh, my mouse is off. That's weird. Okay, well, I think we can work with this. It's fine. The next one is by G-High TV. G-High It-V or G-High TV. Trying to figure out how I'm supposed to read these. There's no spaces. And this one says, my very first seed was a tree motor. So let's add this to our seeds. Again, this one's all caps, so we're gonna go tree tack motor. Oh no, I gotta figure out where the little scroll bar is. And they did not give us a region, so we're again assuming it's gonna be Cereus. Oh my gosh, how am I gonna find the next key? The mouse is like off. Why? Why is this happening? Okay. We're gonna adjust it real quick. I'm just gonna go to login tech and we are going to reset my mouse. Profile, restore default. Okay, that worked. Perfect. Now hopefully that worked in the game. So let's, yes! All right, win. Let's do this. We're gonna check out Tree Motor by G-High TV. And what they said about this one is, it was their very first seed that they played. They crashed along a big lake. Not the same lake from my previous seeds video, whatever one that they were looking at in that situation. And they said with a coastline bordered by steep hills, giving a slim but long building line. Let's see how this looks. Alright, so this is what they were talking about, like the slim coastline. This is a really gorgeous place to settle. We are going to see all of these still crash. Yeah, I think, okay, zoom up, out for a second. So it looks like we're gonna see plenty of salvageable materials, the ones that crashed by us, and then these two directly behind us immediately. Beef berries. Right off the bat, we have beef berries. We have this cloth alternative. We also have this to salvage, so there's plenty of salvage material. We've got these silicone plants. We have ourselves the squash melons. It looks like we have these giant grasses that turn into hay. We have the smoke leaf. Yeah, right off the, like, right in this tiny little coastal area, there's so many resources already. The berries and the squash melons are going to last you forever. Like, that's going to do really well. All you got to do is, like, research and plant it, and you're golden. Your people should never go hungry. I'm seeing over here, we have the heptagonias, so you've got your sweet syrups, we've got rocks. Do we have a lot of timber? Let's look up the hill. It looks like there's plenty of trees up here, but you are going to be, if you're going to build your base down here on the coastline, which is what I would do, you're going to have to climb this hill every time you want to come up here to, like, chop wood. So that's just something you kind of got to, like, make peace with, I think. There's herds to tame. Over here, we've got ourselves the mushrooms. So you have the orange glowing mushrooms. I'm trying to think, what resource do we need that I'm not seeing? Well, if you really like fighting these nests and then harvesting the resources that are in these nests, here's one right behind you, also right on the coastline. So if you just head a little bit past this wiry looking doohickey in that direction, you're gonna find a nest for you to hijack. So there's that for those who have that play style. I know me personally, I tend to, like, run and hide and try to avoid them until absolutely necessary. Look at this, 3, 4, how many dogs is this? I'm seeing 4 dogs right off the bat, like right here. So if you want to hunt some wild game, get some dried meats going, you can tame these dogs and have yourselves, like, a nice little dog brood right away. There's so many of them right there. Again, with the birds, I'm seeing plenty of birds. Yeah, I think this place is very resource rich. I do like the valley right here next to the water. I would totally build here. So let's take a look at our breakthroughs. Breakthrough-wise, how are we doing? We have meat printing, which is kind of funny because I was just responding to a comment as I was setting up the stream. I realized I had all these comments that for whatever reason, my YouTube studio had not notified me that I had. So I was, like, going through and I was, like, responding to comments that I didn't realize I had waiting for me to answer. And one of them was, does anybody use meat printing? So let us know. Drop a comment or leave a remark in the chat letting us know whether or not you use meat printing. And if you do, why? Like, why do you use this? What is it good for? Because I think that's a big question for a lot of people. Like, is this really valuable? What is this for? Why would I spend the resources? Like, why would I spend, it looks like it takes literal fuel. Like, you have to actually turn fuel into meat. So you have to first harvest the fuel from, like, salvaging, or you have to create the fuel by fuel mixing and then turn the fuel into meat. That sounds like a lot of time, a lot of resources just to create meat. Is that really worth it? Puck-latte, meat printing sounds gross. It really does. I've personally never used this technology in any of my gameplays. I don't know how many hours I have in this game. I'm sure it's a lot by now, but I've never once used this technology. It also comes with printed components, which I do use this. This is great. I love this. Graphene solar cells, improved pulse rifles, and improved rail snipers. Which you might need if they're gonna be populating nests this close to your spawn point. So these two might be valuable if you're gonna be playing a fight heavy gameplay, especially if you're playing on, like, super hard mode, like ulti hard mode, whatever ulti hard mode's called, because I don't remember. It's been a while. I'm a little behind on playing this game. to be completely honest, which is why we're doing this video as a stream instead of as an edited video, just because I knew it was taking me too long to get around to it. So we're going to review and share all of these players' suggested seeds on stream, because this way at least I know once I do it, it's immediately available and there's no more waiting. We Hire Monkeys, hello, welcome to the stream and good to see you, We Hire Monkeys. You said, I stole a profile picture from your younger self and now you have a unibrow. That's okay. That's okay, they're your pictures. You can use whatever picture of yourself. You know what I mean? Like who's gonna stop you? Like, why? Use your photos of you as much as you wish, if that is what you wish. I'm not going to naysay it, for sure. All right, so I think we got a really good look at this seed. I honestly do feel like this is a really beautiful seed. So once again, this one was all caps, tree tack motor. And we put this in the Cebrius region by default. And I do think that's what they meant when G High TV recommended it, because they were talking about the lake. And I mean, just look at that. You can't get any closer to the lake. Like, you landed right on it. Any closer, you'd be underwater. So that's as close as it gets. And honestly, it's a gorgeous view. So minus the neighbors. Like, I could do without, you know, these guys for neighbors over here. This is like, you know, that's a little bit of a downside, but otherwise it's a really great seed. It's really great. And for some people that's not a downside. For some people that's like a positive. That's a bonus. They can go take out the nest and then harvest the material. So We Hire Monkey says, my SRG channel has a much better image. I spent too many hours on it. I don't know what you mean by SRG channel. You're gonna have to give me a little more context. I don't understand. But let me know if you want to let me know. All right, so let's go back to the main menu. We're gonna check out our next seed. I'm gonna take another drink of coffee. And we're gonna keep on keeping on. New game. This next one is by Jace K. Brodazari. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And the seed name, again, all caps, so let's keep it cap locked, is County Tac-Toe. And this one, is it Cebrius? Saltu. Okay, so this one's going to be our first non-Cebrius one that we look at today. This one's going to be in Saltu, and they even gave us the moon. They said that they were using the Concordia moon. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this one out. The notes to go with it, the accompanying notes, are it will have a huge lake nearby, lots of vegetation, mineral resources, and no enemies until you start expeditions. I'm on board with the no enemies part. I don't like having to face off with the beasties right away. Some random guy. Oh, SRG, some random guy. Of course, that makes sense. And then that, it's just your username, abbreviated or hyphenated, not hyphenated, abbreviated, yeah. Just like the initials. And then, yay, art, says some random guy. Oh, did you see my art? Did that pop up on screen while I was like reloading the game or went back to the main menu? Yeah, that art, if you did see it, is for my new webcomic that I'm working on that's going to come out this month. My goal is to drop the first chapter into Webtoon on March 17th. The contest that I'm entering starts technically on Monday, on March 10th. But I'm going to spend the first week just kind of like seeing what everybody else is doing, what the rules are, how the entries are performing, and then I'm going to submit mine. And then I plan to roll out the subsequent chapters, chapters 2, chapters 3, in 3-week intervals. That way, my colorist and I can, you know, put our best work forward. So we're going to give ourselves the appropriate amount of time to deliver all of those, but also maintain a schedule, because I think consistency is something that the judges are also looking at. It is a slime OC, says some random guy. Hello, Amanda Rain. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you were able to make it. We are back in Stranded. So, back to the OG game, you know? Ooh, hey, love the darker hair. Thank you so much. This is my natural color. Blonde is hard to keep up with when you're really a dark brunette. So when I was kind of done with the maintenance, I decided to go back to my real color. Let's take a look at this seed. So this is our first Sol 2, like I mentioned. Let's look first at our research breakthroughs. So this one also has ore prospecting. We're looking at sleep training, meat printing once again. I have no idea what this is for or why you would do this. I mean, maybe if you're in the desert, like that's the only use case I can think of. If you're in the desert and the herds are just too far few in between, then meat printing might be like really important in that case. But I don't know what you're using for your fuel mixing to even justify the meat printing. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a situation where this would come in handy. I just think it's probably a much more rare play style than most other strategies would be. Summer Guy my web novel is all over the place. I had to split it into two, and the two perspectives of the same event need to half line up. Well, I wish you luck with that. I hope you're able to get those to line up just how you need them to. I'm sure if you keep editing and reworking it, you'll get it there. The next breakthrough is improved pulse rifles, and the last one is improved carbon armor. So these are, I hope in this case you're going to have a lot of carbon resources in order to take advantage of this. Let's take a look around at our resources. This is Sol 2. So my favorite thing about playing Sol 2 region is that you are always going to be resource rich in the jungle. You're never going to be like shy on resources. In my experience, there's just never been a case where I've like gone through, say, a wet season, because there's no real winter in this one. You've got like, you know, you're in the jungle. You're not going to get snow. You're not going to be snowed in with no crops and starving. You're always going to have plentiful resources. So what you really want to be looking at, I think, in Sol 2 is your building material, your construction material. We do have some rocks here in this rock formation, so you can do some mining. But really, the trees are going to be your number one resource. Wood is going to be your number one resource because it's just infinite in this region. We do have, I'm seeing as we're scrolling around, plenty of these scavenge debris, so you're gonna have plenty to salvage. I see the, smoke leaf plants. These trees are gonna have, you're gonna have sausage palms. We've got these dandelion trees. Here we have the silicone plants, so you can, not a lot of them, but enough that you can research and plant more. And as we head back toward ground zero, we've got our hay, green grass, or not green grass, this is giant grass. So I think you can chop those. What is it, for sticks maybe? Or are those just bushes? I'm not sure. Let's head back to over here. Let's get recentered. I think you got a little off point while I was chit-chatting about comics and stuff. Someone guy says, those spaceships are you from an alternate timeline. That is how I feel in my RP group right now, because we're doing basically a large reboot, which I've talked about in the Discord. If you guys are interested, we are looking for new players. And it is a tech revolutionist, a steampunk homebrew with magic. So we've got like tech and magic both going like absolutely ballistic. And just the opportunity to really build up your character and have them do some pretty like OP things is there. Like you have the opportunity to really develop a character in a really strong way. And the world politics are really like solid. They're interesting and they're rich without being overpowering and without being super text heavy. I think you can kind of get it in a brief summary and understand, but it's well balanced. So I personally, I mean, I will always stand by this RP group, and I invite you guys to join us. We would love to have new players. Ask me about it in the Discord. I would be happy to talk to you about it all day long. Like, I love it. So if you're interested in playing, oh, and it's remote, so you don't have to worry about being within physical proximity, and you don't have to worry about being in the same time zone either, because it is a play-by-post text-based group, or it's a play-by-post RP group, which means, I know we're getting off topic here, we're supposed to be looking at stranded alien dawn seeds, we will do that, but for this group, if you're interested in role-playing with your own character and joining my team, my group, it is forum-based, which means, and if you enjoy writing, by the way, if you're a writer, this is like the place to be. It means that no matter what time zone you're in, you can play at your leisure, at your convenience. So what will happen is I'll go in, I'll post my turn, I'll take my turn as a player, and I will post it. And then whenever you get online, whether that's like an hour from when I post to a day after I post or whatever, whenever you get online and read it, then you take your turn and you post, and then I will find it when I find it, and so on. And so it's just this back and forth, but it's super chill. It's super like not rushed. And it's a great way to like build a character up over time. I love it. I will always advocate for that. So it looks like day is like the night is on, day has set. And this honestly looks really cool. I kind of love this crash burning in the dark. It looks really neat. Once again, we are on a lake. I think we already looked at breakthroughs for this one. We're on the County Toe seed that was provided by Jack K. Brodazari. And they did say there's no enemies until you start doing expeditions. So I think you can really take your time building up probably a really like aesthetic build on this seed, since it sounds like you're not going to encounter a whole lot of offensive pushes. So maybe you may not need to defend yourself so quickly. There's all these coconut palms right down the hill, so that's really convenient. We've got these, they're in here, these cone mushrooms. I think these are really good for your health. Like, oh no, buzz shrooms? Are these buzz shrooms? I think these are buzz shrooms. So basically it's a caffeine boost. And then the other ones, these ones here, Cure Plant. This is good for like your medical supplies. My goodness, I am trying so hard to get this out. Okay, so these are your medical supply resources. You're gonna want to research those and then plant them so that you can keep harvesting. The other ones are your buzz shrooms. Those will keep your people up and productive instead of feeling tired and lethargic and cranky. We do have quite a rocky hillside here, so it looks like there's going to be plenty of mining opportunity, but of course it's salt too. Like I said, you're going to mostly want to build with wood because it's infinite. And just look at these glowing patches down here. There's so many of these orange mushrooms down here, so you're going to be able to research this and bring it back up to camp if you want, or just harvest them wildly, because honestly that's a lot. I know when I was playing the desert region, one of my maps at least, was really rife in these, just like this, where they were just kind of like everywhere across the landscape, and I really didn't have to plant them. I was able to harvest kind of all year round just from the wild growing mushrooms that were out there. So that, for this seed, I think there's a potential, you know? Oh, and then what was that? And down here are your melons. Yeah, so you're good. You're good. You've got kind of everything you need here. I don't know about the more advanced stuff as far as needing like the special ores and metals in order to build the more advanced stuff. But maybe if you were playing this seed on outpost mode, then you could always trade for what you don't have. So you could always do that. Trade raw materials for the more processed stuff. Poke Latte, oh my gosh. Can have Rita make the ice cream. I'm not sure what you were trying to say there. Summernum Guy, Lucas Cursed. I think that's more a character in your web novel. I don't think we have a Luke here. But we do have a Rita, to Poke Latte's point, there is a Rita on screen. Rita can have ice cream. Of course she can have ice cream. Rita can have whatever she wants. She is bae. When it comes to the expedition, setting her up in the balloons, you want to send Rita like 9 times out of 10 because she is the one who's going to find everything. She's got like that special perk. Summer Guy says, in Pal World, you can eat mushrooms you find on the ground, not like they'd be poisonous or anything. I feel like that's in a lot of games. They just like make it seem like it's just so convenient to just pick and eat wild, unrecognizable mushrooms. Don't try that. Do not do that in the real world, please. Don't do that to yourself. All right, I think we are ready to look at the next seed. So let's go ahead back to the main menu. We're gonna pop back in here and we're gonna look at the next one. The next seed comes from Sherlock Homeless 22. So this person suggested, this one is not caps lock, so this one's gonna be a case sensitive seed. It's Glennie, like Genie, but with an L in there. Glennie, and this is what they had to say about Glennie. It's a decent one for the desert. So firstly, this is going to be our first desertum region seed that we're going to look at today. So that's exciting. And this one is good for the amount of stone, and it has very fertile land, Sherlock says, which is great because we can't test that at a glance. So it's good to know in advance from somebody who's already played the seed. And it has a natural wall, so attacking monsters spawning on the other side and having to go through one of two choke points makes it easy to defend. Love the sound of that. Let's check it out. Poca Latte, you can have read it. Yeah, I figured you meant something like that. We were a little tongue-tied with that one. Poca Latte, I was going back and forth there with the iPhone typing. My bad. No worries. It's okay. It's still so early for me. I mean, I feel it's actually not, to be honest. It's like 10 o'clock, but it still feels so early. I don't think I even stayed up that late last night, which is even worse because I'm tired for no reason. All right, this is our first desert seed. I know everything is still crashing. Grayson is crying. Sora is fleeing danger. It's a hot mess, you guys, but the good news is we've arrived. And let's look at our resources that are immediately by the crash zones. We have ourselves the tube plants. These are going to be your sweet syrups. Research, harvest, and plant these because they go a long way, and they can eat these raw. They don't even have to prep them. They don't have to cook them, which is really great in a pinch when your people start starving and you need them to have something that they can eat right away. These have saved my survivors more times than I can count, so I definitely say stock up on this stuff. Right over here, you have your barrel cactus. Usually you have to climb up a mountain to find this. We must be landed, we're probably on high ground. We are on high ground. The monsters are down here in the valley, but I think this is what he's talking about, how they have to come through this choke point to get to you. So you can kind of block this off and sort of like force them to have to, like, you can strategically defend yourself from this choke point, which I think is really great. That was a great point that OP made, and I can see what they were talking about. And then of course, if you block that off, they're gonna have to go even further around to come up through this valley right here to eventually get to you. So lots of ways you can defend yourself here. Turning around, I'm seeing a lot of these cactuses. I'm pretty sure these are the ones that flower and provide some kind of like healing material. It's terrible to eat, but great for healing. Even better for healing are these. So I would say research these branch cacti, plant and harvest these. These, especially in the trade scenario, these are liquid gold. So definitely stock up on that resource. More barrel cactus, great. A lot more over here as well, good. So lots of barrel cactus. I think you're gonna be able to harvest. Oh yeah, I mean, it just goes for miles. Look at this. This stuff is just, there's so much of it. There's so much barrel cactus on this map already. I don't know that you're even gonna need to plant it per se. You might be able to just harvest out in nature, harvest the wild grown cacti for quite some time. Other resources, we have our silicone plant over here. You can research that and then come home and plant it nearby. Plenty of rocks, which OP mentioned. I think just at a glance, you seem to have a lot of material at your disposal right away. This right here, pretty sure this one is green grass. You research this and then plant a ton of it and you're gonna have a lot of grain, which is really good to stock up on. So let's look at the research, the breakthroughs. Summer Guy, I love this thing you're using, a Samsung tablet from 2020. That's awesome. Make it last, make it work for you. Draw on JT all the time. I don't know what you mean by JT, but Pocolatte, is the map low on wood or does the cactus turn into wood? The cactus does not turn into wood. This is going to be a really wood deficient seed for sure, but you do have an alternative to building with wood. You can build with stone. What I will say is when it gets really cold in the desert and you don't have wood, it's going to be really hard to keep your people warm because you're going to have to feed the furnaces, right? But I think these bushes right here, these you can cut and they turn into sticks, which you can burn. So I would just plant a bunch of this, research and plant a whole lot of this so you never run out of sticks to burn in the cold season of the desert when it gets really cold. And I don't know if it's necessarily a season or if it's a day-night thing, because like in the desert it's really cold at night but really hot during the day. So definitely test that out and see how that works out for you. But yeah, as far as like your defenses go and your architecture goes, your infrastructure, you're going to be building with stone, like 100% building with stone. And then you're going to be saving your precious little wood that you have for your furnaces. That is a great point. Good looking out, Pocolatte. Did we look at breakthroughs? I feel like maybe. Let's look again. Sleep training, the infamous meat printing that we've already talked about too much. Graphene solar cells, battery optimization. Love this one. Anytime I get this one, I definitely take advantage of it. Improved laser pistols. That's great. Yeah, so those are good breakthroughs. These bottom three, I would definitely take advantage of. And in the desert, I would say sleep training is really good because you're going to want to put them on a weird schedule to make the most of your good hours where it's temperate, and then have them sleep when it's the hottest and have them sleep when it's the coldest, so you can keep them inside where it's temperature regulated. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and head back to our main menu and we're going to check out another seed. All right, so new game. Let's take a look. I'm just thinking I need to scroll down here in a minute, but we can go ahead and pull up one more seed before I have to scroll my document. This one is by Octavio, and Octavio gave us voice tac bet, and they did state this is going to be Sobrius, so we're going to stay in the Sobrius region. Reason why they like this seed is it is pretty nice. They said good breakthroughs, printed components, and carbon wind turbines, among others. Lots of nearby nests. So this is for the player who likes to take a very offensive stance in their gameplay strategy and basically wipe out a bunch of nests and harvest all of the resources. Because the nests are resource rich. At least you are compensated for the hard work that you do in taking out the aggro critters. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm trying not to. And then their piece of advice for this seed was that you just really need to find the perfect spot for your base, which makes sense if it is very nest dense, if you're like surrounded by baddies. Oh, look at this cute little like pond with all the trees around it. That's adorable. Oh, and you can't see it because it's behind my picture. I'll show you unique land. Yeah, if you're gonna be surrounded by baddies, first of all, grain cob, boom, right there. So that is like probably the most anxiety-inducing resource when I can't find it, especially in Sobrius, because I'm like, I know to get through winter, I need grain. So yeah, if you're playing Sobrius and you know you're gonna have to get through winter, make sure you find either grain grass or grain cob and then start planting. So there's your grain cob right away. Let's spin around. Cute little pond with the trees surrounding it. I just thought this was so cute when we were in aerial view, so I pointed it out. Yeah, right here we have, look at this, we have all of the sweet syrup here, here, and here. So, oh, and back here as well. So there you go, you're definitely not, and also right here. Great, perfect. So lots of sweet syrup, you're not gonna go hungry. Right here is your cloth blossom. Good. What is this? What do we got here? Those are grasses. Here are the bushes for making sticks so you can get through winter. Like we were talking before in the desert scenario, same thing here. You're going to need lots of that to burn for your furnaces. More cloth blossom. I'm glad that you're not shy of cloth. You're going to need it, especially for crafting winter clothing and also your bandages. These pointy plants are your silicone. And that's for your more advanced builds once you really get your tech tree buffed up. And here you have your ores. That's good. Not a lot of them, but it's close by, so it's a good start. Cloth alternative, not that you'll need it, because we did see that there was tons of cloth blossom, but over here we have the purple plant, which is great for building if you want a variety of color. You can get like more colorful carpets, you can get more colorful roofs through these. Actually, are these the ones that do roofing? I think they are. The bird nest for feathers and taming if you're interested in taming those birds. I hear that they're like dogs. They make great defense. Haven't tried it, but that's what I hear. And we do have more shiny rocks and ores over here. So yeah, you're gonna have a lot more of this going on for your more advanced builds, which is good. I'm thinking, just looking around, wood is the way to go for your architecture. You're going to want to build with wood here because there's just tons of trees on all of these hills. I haven't seen any of these nests yet that we're supposed to be looking out for. Let's head back to where we landed. Okay, we're over here. I've zoomed out as much as I can. So I don't know how to, I can't zoom out anymore. Maybe the nests are in the trees. I'm assuming they probably are. Yeah, look at that. Boom, 1, 2. Can we go, is there 3? Are we gonna go for 3? There's the orange mushrooms, but they're really close to that nest. So I would either grab these ones here or clear those nests out before you try harvesting them. Otherwise you're gonna get chased off every single time. Cam says, I feel nauseous from playing video games, but I still have to get my weekly missions done. Yeah, take a break. Take a break from it. Definitely, I try not to... Well, first of all, I try to wear... Where are they? I feel like I'm calling myself out here because I was about to say it and then I realized I wasn't wearing them. I try to wear blue blocker glasses whenever I'm spending a lot of time on the computer because I don't want eye strain. Because eye strain is obviously not good for your eyes. It can lead to headaches. It can also make you tired. So I do try to wear those, even though I'm not wearing them right now. Usually when I jump on the computer and I'm not streaming, that's one of the first things I do is put on those glasses. So I recommend those, but also to get up, walk around, take a break, go outside, do something else that doesn't involve looking at glowing light, which any screen, your phone screen, your computer screen, your TV screen is glowing lights. Just stop. Go somewhere else and look away from that for a while. Also, I think it's good for you to get away from the screens because this proximity, like the phone proximity and the computer screen proximity, I think we're kind of, this is total like pseudo silence. First of all, this is me being a complete, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Not paranoid, but conspiracy theorist. Me being a complete conspiracy theorist here, but I feel like we are training our eyes to focus specifically on this like distance right here, like exactly this distance from us to our phone screens or us to our desk screens. And we are not training our eyes to focus on things that are much further away. Like if you go outside and you're looking down the street and being able to focus on like the road sign at the intersection or something, which we kind of need. We need to be capable of reading at a distance and seeing things at a distance, you know, when we're driving. So I think that we need to maybe exercise our eyes a little bit more in that way because we're spending so much of our focus on these displays. And I wonder if like 30 years from now, they're gonna like have like all these studies on how we've damaged our eyes by training them only to like look at things at a certain focal length. So yeah, that's my conspiracy theorist move there. And my recommendation is make sure that you are trying to be as balanced as possible. I know I am terrible at this. I spend way too much time on my screen. But try to be balanced. Try to get away from it every once in a while. Every couple hours, take a break. You know, get out. Look at something in the distance. James Lopez, like an episode from Black Mirror. Yeah, I feel like that could be our future, you know? I am seeing more of these shiny rocks for harvest. And so, yeah, I think even for the longevity of your gameplay, this seed might be good because you're going to have those later gameplay resources littered about. So definitely collect those and hold on to them. Put them under roofs, well stored so they don't go bad. Let's look at our breakthroughs. And this seed, again, is voice tac bet, all caps. Breakthroughs are, or prospecting, the synthetics that I can't pronounce. Printed components, these ones are not the meat printed, the regular printed components. I like this one. Fuel fermentation, I like this one as well, especially because of all of the nests nearby. If you're going to be constantly on the defensive and killing all these like massive bugs that are attacking, you're going to want to be able to utilize those carcasses and turn them into fuel. So that's good. And then carbon wind turbines. So this is good too for your electric grid, being able to produce more efficient electricity. Great breakthroughs. I do agree this is a good seed. I think this is probably the most resource-rich seed we've looked at so far as later gameplay goes, just because I'm seeing with all of these stony pits lying around, I'm seeing a whole lot of these more advanced ores that you're going to use in your more advanced technology resource building. So this for later gameplay, I think, is a good seed. It's gonna come with all the stuff that is which is usually so rare and difficult to find on other seeds. So take that into consideration if you're looking for a seed that's gonna last you for later gameplay. James Lopez, by the way, did I say hi? Hello, Savax, hello. Good to see you both, and I'm glad you're here. We are looking at seeds. Savax, I think I have one of your seeds on this list. I think it is on this list for us to review today. James says, my favorite part of the map is when there's a solo tree surrounded by water or the glowing plants. I agree. I love the aesthetics of this game. The world is so just gorgeous to look at, and the developers built some really interesting points of interest in the map for sure. 100% agree with that. James Lopez, I read that part. Savax said, I have heard far worse as far as conspiracy theories and unwanted consequences. Yeah, me too, but I try not to subscribe to any of those. I would rather just subscribe to something that's a little... Look at these birds picking on this olphin. That's crazy. They're so aggressive. They are so aggressive. That's why I'm saying, like, they're like, if you train them, they're kind of like the dogs. You can, like, good watchdogs, you know? Yeah, let's back out and we're going to take a look at another seed. So back to the main menu, and real quick, I'm going to come down here and scroll my list so I can see the rest of it. So Vax, you did give us a seed. Let's look at yours real quick. Let's do that one first, and then we'll go back to doing them in order. So since you're here, let's take a look at your seed, and you can tell us more about it. You said that you were trying this seed while listening to hockey, and it's in the South 2 region. And oh, actually, we did look at this seed. We actually used this seed in another, we'll take a look again because I already like talked it up, but we used this in one of the other, yeah, the survival challenge, the other live streams. So yeah, we'll take a look real quick, but I'm familiar with the seed. I'm very, very, very familiar with the seed. Montreal Canadiens, ENS, and confirm. Okay, and this is in the Salt 2 region, that's right. All right, next. Start. We did autopilot this for the autopilot challenge. If you guys haven't watched that yet and you like this game, go to my stream history and check out the autopilot challenge and try it for yourself. It's a lot of fun, and it really makes you rethink your early gameplay strategy and how to like make it as autonomous as possible. I thought it was a really fun challenge. I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope you guys will too. and check it out. And this seed is what you're gonna find when we get there. And look how gorgeous this is. Like, speaking of gorgeous seeds, as James was saying, like, the map is remarkable. It's so pretty. Look at these resources. We already have the crystals up here. We have the tuber plants right here. This glowing like pond thing right here. This like puddle of glowing blue water under this giant stalactite or stalagmite, whatever you call those. So cool. I love the way it looks. Wait, let's look back at where we crashed. We crashed right at the foot of that. And if you turn around and look the other way, this is exactly what James was talking about. You've got like this one massive tree that's just standing. Like, these are the regular size trees, you guys, right here. And then you've got this one massive tree, this like tree of life right here growing at the edge of this water. It's just really regal. I didn't cut this down in my gameplay when I was playing the autopilot challenge. I definitely kept that. I did not want to cut it down. It's just too cool. Too cool to cut down. Yeah, this is resource rich. We've been over this one before, so I'm not going to do a complete tour of it, but what we can do is look at our breakthroughs. So let's look at our breakthroughs on this seed. Lopez swag. Savax, I think it's a Sea Manager Survival Challenge. Oh yeah, you did say that, and yes, it was. Pocolate, completely agree. There's a few videos on YouTube that talk about eye muscle atrophy. Ooh, that's so scary, but it makes sense. And we need to be, you know, cognizant and paying attention to how we're spending our time and try to diversify as much as possible so that we're not overextending ourselves in any way. Whether that's if you're staring too much at screens or if you're overutilizing a specific muscle group, whatever the case might be, you want to like really try to be as well-rounded as possible and not wear out parts of your body way in advance of everything else, you know? Breakthroughs are sleep training, synthetics, hay sausages. I'm not sure you really need this here in the desert, or not desert, in Salty region, because you're gonna have abundant food sources all year round, but it's an option. Meat printing, skip. I would love if somebody did like a little essay on why this is useful or when it's appropriate. Like, when is the best time to use this technology? I would love to see that in the comments. If somebody could write out like a little blurb on meat printing, that would be great. Improved laser pistols. So those are our breakthroughs. So yeah, it's a pretty well-rounded list. You've got your weapons proficiencies. You've got resource modifications, sleep training, so that you can maximize productivity. Not really so sure I would use this one or this one, but it's Cell 2, which comes with its own like super benefits anyway. As far as the regions go in this game, I do feel like if you're looking for the easiest region to the hardest region to play, easiest region definitely Cell 2. I could see the argument for and against Sobrius being the hardest, just because winter, like being like completely frozen out for the dead of winter for an entire season for like a quarter of the year is really hard. Or the desert region, because resources are just so sparse all year round. So either one of those could be considered the hardest. I do think desert's the hardest just because of the sparsity issue. And you don't start, when you crash land on Sobrius, you don't start in the dead of winter, so you're able to build up your reserves before you get to winter, which is nice. Savax, easiest map I played for the Guardian scenario, just from the access to the crystals from the start. That's a really good point. So if you're playing Guardians, this seed is a great seed, because look at this. They're just waiting up here like a buffet. For your AI robots. So again, the seed is Montreal Canadiens. No tack. It is case sensitive. If you want to try it and you want to make sure that you spell it correctly, just backtrack a little bit in this video and see where I wrote it out on screen. Or go back to the very beginning of this stream where I scrolled through the entire list of seeds we're looking at today, and you can find it there as well. Alright, so let's back out to the main menu. We're going to take a look at another one, and while we do that, I'm going to come down here and readjust my screen to go back to the top of the list where we left off. All right, new seed. Let's take a look. This one is going to be called, and it is caps locked, Serious Tac Sam. And this one comes from Piper0185. And Piper says, oh no, wait, sorry, that's the next one. This one comes from Serious Sam, comes from Skull Monkey KT2. So Skull Monkey KT2 says it is a great one for desertum. So let's go back to the desert, you guys, and check this out. And I'm gonna have another sip of my coffee. Alright, it's gonna of course do the typical crash things where all the falling debris falls, like that. While the debris is falling, we won't look around, we'll look at our breakthroughs first. So, breakthroughs right at the top. I feel like it's inescapable at this point. Now we can't stop saying it. Meat printing is the first breakthrough. Fuel fermentation. You don't have to study these in order, by the way, top to bottom. It just depends on wherever you hit the prereqs first, because you can see the requirements. If we go up here, you see that red X under requirements. Whichever one you've cleared the requirements for to research the breakthrough, you can research it in that order. Meat printing, fuel fermentation, we talked about this before. Improved rifles, improved railguns, and improved carbon armor. If you have carbon armor, this is a great way to make it even tougher. So I think these are like really solid late game breakthroughs, at least this one. Let's take a look at the seed. And again, Skull Monkey said it's a cool seed for desertum. I think this might be part of the reason why they're saying this. If they watch my channel and they know I absolutely love water, I turn around and I'm saying 1, 2, 3, like this little triangulation of ponds, which is great. Especially in the desert, you want to be on an oasis of water, right? So here we are right on this little oasis of water. We've got that pond, we've got this pond, we've got this even smaller one over here, this little puddle by the back one. And I would probably, personally, I would build right in the middle of all three. Like right here, this is where I would put my whole base. Like let's have you go like here. That's where base would be. We would build here. And that would give us access to all of these resources that are leaching off of these ponds, that are getting all of their water from these. And I think the way that it works for desertum is that the closer you are to water, probably the more fertile the soil is. I think that that's the way the map is probably, and as you disperse away from it, probably the less fertile the water gets, because, you know, it's going to be based on its ability to grow things, right? Super technical, super farm technical information there, right? But look at all of these cacti. What are these called? The branch cacti. These are like your healing bombs right here, and there's so much of it. So you've got a lot of material here for healing bomb. If you're gonna do a desertum run through where you're playing the trade scenario, this might be a good one. Build right in the middle of those 3 lakes. Research what you gotta research and start farming. But also, like I said, these are liquid gold when it comes to trade. So harvest these, make your little healing bombs, and sell those. You've got your tea ball plants here for making tea, barrel cacti, research, and then start planting this everywhere, but at least it's like super nearby and accessible, and you don't have to climb a mountain anywhere to like find it. This might be, it looks like it's just blade grass, but it might be your grain grass. If we get closer to the water, we can see that we have our mushrooms here, we have the smoke leaf. I wonder if this is beefberry bushes. They might be. You have to research it to find out. And then, of course, we've got more sweet syrups up on the hill. These bushes definitely, these palm bushes are definitely great for cutting and making sticks for your furnaces to keep your people warm at night. Yeah, I like this seed a lot, actually. This one, again, Skull Monkeys, Serious Taxam, all caps, in the Desertum region. I think I might try this one out, just because I really want to see what it would look like to build a fort in the middle of these 3 lakes. I think that would be cool. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So, main menu. What is photo mode? Anybody know? I've never really clicked on this. I've kind of ignored it this whole time. What is that? What does photo mode do? What does photo mode mean? All right, for real this time, we're going to look at Piper 0158, who gave us aliens. Like, legitimately, it's aliens. So we're going to go here, not even caps locks, just A-I-L, no, not A-I, A-L-I-E-N-S, aliens. And their reason for this one is that it has a good defensive start, tons of silicone and berries, wood, stone, and it's easy to defend on the map. And I'm assuming it's Subrius if we're looking at good berries, wood, and stone. All 3 of those. Let's check it out. Poke Latte, I'm gonna have to check out, now that you've put that in my head, this eye muscle atrophy, I'm gonna have to Google that and look at it and see what they say. And probably just give myself another cause for stress and anxiety. Wow, this is, like, they weren't kidding about this being a very berry-rich seed. All the way around, 360, like, we're just surrounded by berries, which is amazing. Could have like a whole berry farm here. This could be Knott's Berry Farms right here. Plenty of trees. So yeah, wood and stone, lots of stone because we've got all of these stone monoliths and we've got ourselves some silicone and ore over here for ore prospecting. I don't think we have to go far to tell that this is a resource-rich seed. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we have like the berry, the regular berry bushes, right? And this is gotta be the beef berries. This beef, like, single stalk berry plant, I'm pretty sure those are the beef berries. So you've got both variations of berries over here. I'm seeing the melons. So you've got your melons right here. Another body of water. And typically this is like what I've been told in the past. If you want to find beef berries, look around water. And that seems to be true in this case too, because we just found them right here next to this little pond of water. Sweet syrups are here. What is up with this? Oh, it's a nest. I was like, why? What is this red trees over here? Yeah, so there you go. If you want to kick some butt and take some names, and also take all the resources that they have under here as well. They're there if that's what you want. Okay, so definitely a resource-rich area. You are on like the top of a plateau, so there's like a huge valley down here. If you wanted to, you could move downhill into the valley if you want more space to build. There's another like whole lake right here that you could build around if you wanted. It's a lot more space than this like little circle up here. That said, you would miss out on like this entire like circle of beef berries, or not beef berries, but right, like the regular berries. So it's, you know, it's up to you. Choices. Let's look at the breakthroughs. Ore prospecting, synthetics, hay cloth, meat printing, improved carbon armor. I feel like I'm a broken record here. Is my game broken and we're looking at the same breakthroughs on like all of these seeds, or are these just everybody's favorite breakthroughs and that's why these are everybody's favorite seeds? That is like a chicken or the egg question, and I'm really curious why it is that we're seeing so many of these repeating across all of these suggested seeds. Is this what people find to be top brass, like the top-notch seeds of seeds, when they're getting this specific array of breakthroughs? Let me know. Let me know if that's what you think. Because I'm curious. I feel like I do feel like I've been repeating a lot of this. Yeah, so gorgeous view, by the way, if you do decide to stay up on the hill. Look at that. What a scene, you know? Imagine building here. I have like, I go back and forth on whether or not I would want to live on this planet because it is gorgeous, but I am not so keen on being attacked by scorpions the size of elephants. That is kind of a deal breaker for me. I don't know if I'm down with that. Maybe I would like to go to this planet after they've like built up the colonies enough to where that's not a threat, and then at that point I might come visit. But yeah, scorpions the size of elephants? No, thank you. Giant beetles or giant manti the size of elephants? I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna have to pass on that one as well. So I don't know. It's gorgeous. I love playing it as a game. I don't know how I'd feel if I was actually one of these people stuck here with virtually no resources and no defense and having to start from scratch. It's a fun challenge when it's not real. I am so curious about this photo map. I'm just gonna click it. What does this do? Oh, I guess it's your settings. It's how you, okay. All right, but I'm good. We're gonna move on. Main menu. Let's do this. Our next seed. Let's start our next seed. We're getting through these pretty quickly, I feel like. I think we're doing pretty good on the pacing. Shrimp Burrito, hello. Nice to see you. This isn't Roblox. No, it is not. I know you've been asking for Roblox. It is not Roblox. I don't know that Roblox is for me. We may not ever see that here. But I hope that you can still enjoy the stream. We are going to check out a new seed. This one is from PM Bramucci? Oh man. Again, I did scroll through this full list at the very top of the stream, the very beginning of the stream, so that you guys could see all of this spelled out correctly, and so that my mispronunciation is not going to lead anyone astray. It is all there in writing, in text, on camera, on screen, so if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. But I made sure to show that in the opening credits, you know? Alright, so PMB suggested we check out Honolulu. Yeah, Honolulu. So let's do it. And I'm not seeing any mention of what region. So again, we're going to assume Sabrius. But here's what PMB had to say. Honolulu is pretty cool. Not a lot of water, just a tiny pond you can wade across probably. But most of the observable stuff is pretty close, and you start with 6 ship debris inside of the landing pod. One is literally mixed in with a pod. A lot of 100% Greenland as well, with mountains surrounding you. It is case sensitive, but the cap version is also nice. Good to know. Right on the beach, but the green ground isn't as good in your opinion. I think he's talking about that one. The full caps Honolulu puts you right on the beach, but the soil is not as great for growing crops. Lowercase isn't great though, so don't do full lowercase. It's mixed case. Capital H on the Honolulu, everything else lowercase. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, they did specify at the very end here in the Sabrius region. So we are on point here. We're heading to the right destination. We got on the right flight. This one appears to be really mountainous as well, so I'm thinking we're going to see a ton of trees. Yeah, right away, green cob, good. That's the first thing we want to see. Almost always the first thing we want to see is our green cob. Want to know where the green cob is, always. We rotate around, here are our orange mushrooms. Rotate a little bit further, and I'm seeing the purple plants, and the squash. So we've got our main crop here, like our staple, We have our grain. We have our fabric alternative. Good, good, good. The orange mushrooms are great for lighting and for, I think they also make a healing balm. They're good for like something to do with your medical supplies. And in a pinch, if you cook them, they're poisonous to eat raw, but if you cook them, they can also serve as an edible resource as well. So let's finish the 360 view. We have over here our sweet syrups. Always love to see that because those go really far when it comes to your food crops. And we have even more over here, along with some mining opportunities. It looks like we've got like a little bit of a valley going through here, like as you face the moon coming up. And so there's a lot of mining through this valley. But again, I think we're mostly going to be building with trees on this seed, to be honest. I think it's going to be a mostly wood build. And if we head over here into this area where all of these spaceship debris is that you could be scavenging, we're going to find all of these berries as well. So yeah, nobody's going to starve. As long as you properly store your crops before winter gets here, nobody's going to starve on this seed. I'm not really seeing the cloth blossom at a glance, but it's very possible I'm just missing it because I'm like zoomed way out and I'm taking just a top level view. But like I said, you have this alternative right here, so you really don't need it. If you don't find it, it's okay. Although that alternative doesn't work for bandages, so you're still going to want to find it eventually so you don't run out of bandages. Right here, hiding on the back face of this hill is two nests, I would argue. I feel like maybe it's just one. It was just that angle I was at. There's a scorpion nest up here. So these scary little critters, these guys that you really don't want to mess with, because these, unlike all the other baddies that you face, they have ranged weapons. They can literally flick these spikes from their tail at you. It's like getting shot, even if you have like a good barrier that's keeping them at a distance and they can't maul you to death. These guys can still shoot you. So they're probably the worst when it comes to all of the different types of bads, the big bads that you can fight in this game, because these ones have ranged weapons. And running into them right away would probably not be great. So I would try to stay out of their way until you have adequate defenses. Did we go over the breakthroughs? I think we did not. So let's do that. Let's zip back over here to where everybody's crashed. Oh, here's what he's talking about. Like, I haven't seen this before. Have you guys? Where you literally crash in the midst of the scrap parts, the fallen debris. I've never crashed into fallen debris before. That's an interesting shot. That's really interesting. Yeah, let's look at our breakthroughs, shall we? Hay sausages, which is good if you... I think hay sausages, I would actually make the argument, hay sausages are great in the Sobrius region because if you stock up on hay, which is super, super easy to do, and then you run out of food in the winter, and you have the hay sausages technology researched, you can just you can make your food go a lot further. It's not just hay, you have to mix it with vegetables, but it'll make the vegetables go a lot further if you're mixing them with the hay sausages instead of cooking them into other things or just eating them raw. This way, I think you're making the most of your resources if you're low on vegetables. Queue up hay sausages and try to make that last you in the winter. Hokalate says, the fallen debris must have broken your fall. Yeah, I think I would much rather have just landed in the soft grass than on top metal on metal. That sounds like a bumpy landing. It sounds like you know, it's like, would you rather lay on the bed or would you like to lay on a bed of rocks? I don't know. Like, the ground's not great. It's still solid, but it's a little less solid than this, perhaps. They all got out fine, though. Nobody's dead. Nobody's injured, so I guess they're okay. Let's go ahead and head back again to the main menu, and we're going to check out another seed. So that one was Honolulu by PMB, which means we are now up to Lost Phoenix, which I feel like we've done. Not because PMB recommended it, which they did. This is the second recommendation by PMB, but because it was the name of an independent film that I produced, and as a way to celebrate that coming out, we did a live stream with Lost Phoenix as the... Oh yeah, no, see, I'm misunderstanding this comment. They're not suggesting it. They're saying that they looked at it after I used it. So that's why we're going to skip it, because I already have a whole live stream on Lost Phoenix, and we can go watch that if you're interested. It's the one when you hover over the video, the preview that plays looks like a movie trailer. That's the one that is Lost Phoenix Seed. So if you want to check out the Lost Phoenix Seed, check out that live stream. But they said, just to let you know what PMB thought of that seed, they took a look at it in the Salto region and loved the view of the water. So just a little encouragement to go check that out. It's a great seed, and it was a really fun stream. So next up on our list is full caps. It's going to be Epic-tac-map. And this one is recommended for both Desertum and for Salt 2. And this one comes from Freedom Y8T. Y8T. Yate? Freedom Yate? I think that's probably how it's pronounced. We're going to just check out one of the two. So we're not going to go to Desertum and Salt 2. If you want to check out the alternative, highly encouraged. But we're going to check out Desertum for this one for our sakes. And that's what we're going to go to first. The feedback for this one is they're really good seeds, built a nice 5-story castle by the starting body of water within Salt 2. So heads up, if you're going to try this seed in Salt 2, there is a body of water right next to your landing point. And they were able to build a 5-story castle on that seed by that water. We're going to land in water too, right here on Desertum. So not bad. Not bad at all. We got to start right here on a teeny tiny body of water with a bunch of sweet syrups to our backs, which I don't hate. That's not so bad. I think for sure in Desertum, like most of the time, you're going to be building mostly with rock, but I do honestly love the builds in Salt 2 because of the red stone. The red stone makes such pretty red buildings. Like you get these really red brick looking buildings. It reminds me of like old school houses, and it's just charming, I think. So that's also something I really like about playing in the Desertum region. Besides the challenge, it's always a challenge to play in Desertum, but it's also really fun to see the kind of builds you can make because the stone isn't gray like it is in the other two regions. When you build with stone in the other regions, you get gray buildings. You build with stone in Desertum, you get red buildings. Poke-latte, I don't trust the castle survivors. The fallen debris must have broken. I read that part, but the castle survivors, yeah, I don't know. We've Maki's crying. Someone usually is, to be fair, when you land, it'll randomize and decide who is going to be the crier each time. So somebody usually is crying when you crash land. Alright, so we noticed that there's plenty of stone to build with. We've got plenty of sweet syrup to feast on. Even if you play this on ultra hard mode and you don't land with a lot of rations, you at least have that readily available. Right here within a hop, skip, and a jump, we have our barrel cacti. So you're going to be able to, these are basically your melons of the Desertum region. So you can have the melons in Salt 2, you can have the melons in Sobrius. In Desertum, you get the barrel cacti, and that's sort of the equivalent. Right here we have the tea ball trees. You can make tea out of those. Cloth blossom right here. And you've got your scrap metals. So cloth check, food check. Right here you have your branch cacti for healing check. And then right over here we have the silicone leaf plants check. So I think resource-wise, your bases are covered. Let's check out the breakthroughs. At least you didn't crash into the ocean, says Poke-latte. Yeah, Thankfully, they never do. Although I think it would be kind of funny if sometimes they did, and then you had to like just start over. But thankfully, that hasn't happened. They never do. Breakthroughs are hay cloth, which I think is really good if you're in an area that is really hard up for fabric resources. If you don't have the purple trees, which I don't think you do in Desertum, hay cloth is great alternative for that. And if you're really light on your cloth blossom, or if you need to use cloth blossom for something else like making bandages, and then you want hay cloth for making clothing or something like that, you can do that. Hay sausages, same thing. You're really light on resources here in the desert. So as far as desert seeds go, or desert breakthroughs go, these top two are great for the desert. These are great desert breakthroughs. Hay cloth, hay sausage, great. Improved solar sails and graphene solar sails in the desert where you're going to get a lot of sunlight. Yes, absolutely. Love that. And improved pulse rifles. I'm not going to sneer at that either. So I think as far as breakthroughs go, this is like, this is the perfect hand as far as breakthroughs go for the desert. I like this. That's a great number of breakthroughs. I don't know that I think the seed is particularly beautiful. It's not like the prettiest seed. Oh, I take it back. Wait, I did not look far enough in this direction. I take it back. It's quite pretty. Look at that. Look at that. I was all like, oh, look, there's a little puddle here. We have a puddle, you guys. No, we've got a lake. We have more than a puddle. This is a beautiful seed. Forget what I said a minute ago. I love this seed. It's beautiful. It has beautiful breakthroughs. It is resource rich. We are golden. We can build here. We can thrive here. Recommend A++. Well done. Freedom Yate for recommending this. Again, it is all caps Epic-tac-map in Desertum, and they also said it's a good seed for Saltu. Book Latte! Hey there, you're a rock star, get your game on. Yes. Love that. I like how it's like, we need 4 beds. Yeah, you do, but we're not staying. So back to the main menu. We are really breaking through this list. I think we're making a great time. So next up, let's check out the next seed. This one is mixed case. It's going to be capital C. And then Capitalista. And this one is recommended to us by Charles, with a last name that looks kind of difficult to pronounce, but we will try our best. Charles Froehler. Froehler. They suggested Capitalista, and I'm assuming it is for... Nope, Jungle World. So by saying Jungle World, they mean Saltu. So Capitalista on the Saltu, that is the recommendation. And they said that they used it for their trading outpost scenario. There was not a lot of wreckage, so I don't think there's going to be a lot to salvage as far as like scrap metals go. And they had to research survival kits, drones, and send out an enlightened survival for no meltdowns to get them to salvage with any degree of efficiency. So if you're going to play this seed, Capitalista, Charles recommends you pick for your party of survival somebody who is enlightened and won't have meltdowns, so that you can have them travel far distances to get to wreckage. Besides this, oh right, we're gonna play wreckage when we're playing the crash landing scenario, but they were playing trading post scenario. So if you're doing that, an enlightened survivor, so you can send them far distances to salvage without them having a mental breakdown. Good note. I think that's a good note. Well recommended. I do obviously really like the landing spot. Look at this beautiful arch. We've got this gorgeous like natural formation, pretty little arch area. This is where weddings would go. I would just build like one of the little wedding arches right under this, and then pretend the little wedding arch isn't there, and then getting married under the big arch. And right here, all this gorgeous, beautiful water. We've got ourselves a lake back here. These are the ones that you can make roofing tiles out of. So I was mistaken when I said earlier that the purple cloth alternative plant in the Sobrius region is the one that does like the red roofs. It's not. Red roofs are done on Sol 2 region with these plants, these big leaf plants, and they render not just the building material, the cloth building material with the red roofs, but they will give you sticks for your furnaces, which is also super great. This is a great resource. I always end up over harvesting this and then I'm left with a ton of excess just sitting on shelves. But that's not the worst problem to have. You're gonna see a lot of these coconut palms. You're gonna have plenty of coconut. If we head back in this direction, I guarantee you there's gonna be sausage palms. They're probably just not ripe yet. They usually aren't ripe when you first crash, but they will ripen. And once you start seeing the fruit on the trees, you'll know that those are the sausage palms. I'm really big on chopping these driftwood piles and not cutting down the trees. I don't like to do like deforestation if I can avoid it, so I will always go for the fallen trees. And I love it when there's these just giant piles of driftwood because that makes it even easier. So that's really nice. Here you have your dandelion trees. You have plenty of herds for taming if you want to tame them. I'm not seeing right away, I'm not seeing the orange mushrooms. I'm not seeing cloth blossom. Those things are kind of harder to spot though in the desert sometimes. But with any desert, not just desert, my goodness, I am like spiraling out here, just word salad, in the Sol 2 region. However, I don't think that you need to be that concerned when you're in Sol 2 because it is going to be, it's the jungle, it's the easiest region to play, it's always going to be resource rich, you're going to find it somewhere, it's going to be there. So I wouldn't like sweat resources, they exist, you will find them, I promise. It sounds like the only resource that was difficult to find was in trading outpost scenario, and that was these. And you had to walk a distance to get them. But otherwise, great seed, gorgeous view. Honestly, the lake's not even the pinnacle of this seed for me. It's this arch. That is the pinnacle of this seed, in my opinion. So I highly recommend checking it out for that reason. And our breakthroughs are going to be ore prospecting, synthetics, fuel fermentation, carbon wind turbines, and improved laser pistols, which is a pretty solid roundup. I do think wind turbines are a great source of energy for the Sol 2 region, so I'm not going to argue with that. Pocolate, you can always print meat. You can. I don't know why you would, but you can. Yeah, I'm still waiting for like the little blurb in the comments explaining to me what the value of that is. Let's head back to main menu. And we have ourselves, it looks like 2 more. I'm going to check and make sure that that's accurate. Let me scroll down a little bit. Yeah, 2 more seeds, and then we will have covered all of the suggested seeds that were not already previously covered in one of my 3 seeds videos. So if after this stream you're still looking for seed suggestions, if you just didn't feel like you found the piece de resistance in this list, that's okay, because I have done this 3 other times in my video library where you can check out those seeds and see what other players were also recommending. But let's go ahead and round this out. The next one on the list is Court-tac Zone, and this one comes to us by Ilk King Gay Bav 1981. I am 1000% sure I mispronounced all of that, so I apologize. And they're saying this is one of the most popular seeds, and for good reason. It spawns in a flat area, and there are so many resources around that the players have their hands full for some time. So it looks like you're going to be able to harvest from the wild without having to do too much research and planting, at least for perhaps the first year maybe. It also gives you 1 extra survivor in the first week. That is what they're claiming. I cannot confirm that, although I am inclined to believe anyone who's going to leave me a comment like this until the trolls discover my channel and, you know, start littering in in the comment section. I don't think they have. I think my channel is still small enough yet where that's not become an issue. Even though the trees are a little bit scarce, they do give us that little heads up that the trees are a little bit scarce. The player can definitely make up for it by planting some fields. So let's check this out. Let's see what we are getting out of it. I don't think that's scarce for trees. Maybe they're looking at a different region. They didn't specify a region though, so I defaulted to Cereus. I don't know. The trees don't seem that scarce. I mean, yeah. Unless this player is like me where they don't want to cut down real trees and they're talking about the fallen trees are scarce, maybe that's what they mean. Look at this right away, grain cob, boom. I love it when you land on grain cob, it's great. And then we have ourselves sweet syrups, good, that's great. Tons and tons and tons of scavenge material. Right here, we're seeing a ton of berries. We have Knott's Berry Farms over here. Our purple cloth plant back here. Yeah, and I mean, like, keep in mind, we're crashed right here. So all of this stuff that I've been pointing at, we've barely moved, and it's all like readily available right here. We have our squash-like plant right here. So we're gonna have plenty of melons. And if that's not plenty, you can always just research and plant them. But it sounds like, from the comment, the resources are aplenty, and you can kind of just harvest wild for a while. And here's the orange mushroom. So yeah, look at this stone. Anybody want to just zoom in on this? I do. Look at this perfectly round stone. It looks like a biscuit. It's so round and it's so like it just looks like a, you know, it's like a cookie. Look at this cookie rock. That's what I would name my colony if I built on this seed because of this stone alone. Like, that would be it. This would be Cookie Rock. Welcome to Cookie Rock. This is where we live. This is our name now. I want to try that now as a seed, Cookie Rock, and see what it would give us. But let's carry on. We're gonna go ahead and look at our breakthroughs. Ore prospecting, hay cloth, meat printing, Pokelatte's favorite, printed components, and improved carbon armor. I didn't see any nest, but I also didn't travel that far away from like the crash landing point. So if I did travel even the tiniest bit away from the crash landing point, we're starting to see nest. So maybe that carbon armor is a good thing. Yeah, I get it. I can see why people like this one. And then they were talking about it's got a really flat area for building. This is some of the flattest land we've looked at, I think, today. Like, that is like truly like a really flat plain, if you will. Pokelatte, we need some printed meat recipes. And DeHalvin, hello, loading up now. Good to see you. I'm glad that this has inspired you to start playing. It is a good game, and we have a lot of great places to explore. That's also why the replayability on this game is so good, because it's really like you're discovering new land every time. Let's go ahead and head back to the main menu, and we're gonna look at the last recommended seed on this list. So let's go ahead and start new game. This one is called, and it's also a cap locks one, so might tack inside. And we're going to confirm that and look at the comment. And the comment says, start on a hilltop with all the good stuff in reasonable range. Gotta love that. Although they did note silicone is the worst, but still available to the east. There are 2 bug nests in range. So for our warrior types who love to fight the nests, this is a good one. Because they didn't specify a region, we're going to assume Sol 2, and we're going to go ahead and load that up. DeHalvin, to look at one of my maps for a later suggestion. Oh, good. Yeah, let us know. If you have your favorite map and you just want to pull that up and like find out what it's called and then send it in the chat after we look at this one, because this was the last on my list, we'll look at yours. So let us know what it is, and we'll take a peek. All right, so here we are at Might Tack Inside, all caps. And it looks like we're on the edge of a cliff. Yeah, we are on the edge of a cliff, so we're pretty elevated. We're pretty high up. I'm seeing already right here, we've got some ore and some shiny rocks. Those are good for later gameplay, so I'm not gonna snuff it. They were not kidding. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at how close that is. I just spun around, like I just turned around and the nest is right there. Like you're sharing this tiny little cliffside with these scorpions. I would have a panic attack if this was me. If I climbed out of this crash landing pad, crying my eyes out. This is me. This guy right here, that's me. I'm this one. I would be doing this. Okay, crash landing, just on my knees crying, kissing the earth. And then I turn around and I see these elephant-sized scorpions. I'm getting back in the ship. I'm getting back in the ship and I'm just gonna sit here watching out the window and just waiting and to die. Like if there's a bag of Fritos in there, I'm eating the Fritos. And I'm just gonna lay low and stay inside the metal case and like just be like, yeah, this is where I die. This is my coffin. This is my metal coffin. Pogalate Delhaven. Yes, I read all of those. Good. Pogalate says Han is a waterbender. He's just making ammunition. I love that for him. I do. I love that for him. Pogalate, you're so kind to Han. All right, let's take a look at our breakthroughs. We have, again, the synthetics, fuel fermentation. This one used to be my favorite breakthrough before they introduced the tame and train update to the game. This is way back when we were playing it in like beta or whatever, and then it was like fuel fermentation. This was like a godsend. I loved this. And then we got tame and train where you could create fuel out of their bio waste. And then this became just less useful. Not that it's less useful, it's just you have alternative options and you don't need this as much as you used to. But if you don't want to go through the trouble of farming livestock, you could still fall back on this one. So it's a great option nonetheless. Then we have our improved solar cells, our carbon wind turbines. So yeah, look at that. Oh, and battery optimization. Heck yeah. All right, you're going to have like the most awesome efficient grid because you're going to have solar power and you're going to have wind power. And if one or the other fails, you can always depend on the backup, which is good. And battery optimization, so you can store more power for when it's not windy and it's, I don't know, nighttime and you don't have solar power at the ready. So this is good. I love this for your electric grid. These are great. Is higher elevation more wind power? That is a great question, Pogalate. I would love to know, but I think only a developer could probably answer that question. I would not be surprised if it was, because even when you're building a shelter, like, I don't know, is it too much to try to like demonstrate this right now? Even if you built a shelter, say this was built and then I hovered my cursor under the shelter, the temperature it would give me, which it says right now is 54 degrees outdoors, but it's not built, right? So it's going to say the same thing if I hover my cursor outside of the shelter, still 54. But if this was built and it was providing shelter from the sun, it would be cooler inside than it is outside. Like they've taken that much into consideration. They're like so very, I guess like authentic's probably not the word, but I don't want to like try to think too hard about what a better word is. So I'm just going to go with it. So it's like a really authentic or a more realistic feature in the game, which to me still blows my mind to this day. I still really like that about this game, that they're so nuanced with the details, you know? All right, so we looked at our breakthroughs. We noticed a few of these resources right here at the top. We've got the smoke leaf, we've got the grain cob, we have the berries, we have these rocks for ores and late gameplay developments. We also have some, you know what I would do on this seed, just looking at this, because there's not a lot. Gosh, this guys and these guys, yeah, there's two nests literally right at your right at your back door. I would run over here. I would research this, the cloth blossom. I would research the grain cob, and I would probably not even research the berries because I would trust that they're going to be down here. And then I would move downhill. I'd be like, yeah, we're not staying up there. We're moving. First of all, because this is flatter, more open land, so you have a little bit more room to build your shelter, your defenses, and do a little bit of farming. I would grab these berries and research them. I might even long-term move even further downhill, like try to get down here in the valley. Look at this spot. This is like the game. This is the goal. You want to migrate all the way to this because this field right here is large enough for like a big defensive colony, for plenty of farmland. Yeah, this would be my end game. It is quite the trek. I'm not gonna lie. To migrate all the way down here and carry all your supplies from your crash landing pad all the way down here, that's like several days labor that your characters are gonna hate. But if you do it right away, if you just ignore all those early steps I just said and just immediately migrate, get all that moved down here, just get it out of the way, you're gonna have a much better time building down here where there's space to build than if you're trying to make it work up on those tiny little outcrops on the mountain. Okay, so De Halvin has given us their seed, so let's check it out. Let's go back to the main menu. And James Lopez says, nice. Yeah, I agree. Like that, I mean, you don't have to play it that way. That's just how I would do it on that seed. Yeah, look at all that farmland. Exactly. New game, and let's look at this seed. It is the Sobrius region, and it is cap-locked, so we're going to cap-lock Court-tac-plane. Okay, and we're going to keep it Sobrius, and this one comes from De Halvin. And trading scenario. I don't know if the trading scenario changes. I want to try this. Okay, so you're going to help me test this out, all right? De Halvin, we're going to try this just like we did everybody else's. Crash landing, regardless of what scenario they were playing when they recommended the seed. And we're going to load up the seed, and you let us know if changing the scenario changed the seed at all. Because I think it shouldn't. It should be the same seed no matter what. But you let us know once we load up the seed if it actually is the same. Oh, try it on Desertum. Whoops. Let's... Oh no, can I skip? I don't know how to skip the video. Alright, there we go. Back to the main menu. Let's try this again. Desertum. Alright, new game. Desertum. And all caps again for Court-tac-plane. Let's load it up. Pogalatte, believableistic. That is a great word. That was definitely a great word, and more suited for what I was trying to say than authentic, I think. Alright, so James Lopez says, when I first played, I thought I could pilot the crash landing shuttle. Oh, I think that's a reasonable misunderstanding for a first time seeing it. Sadly, no, we can't pilot it, but it is a cool animation. Alright, great seed. I'm seeing right away Barrel Cactus. This is your main crop, so you're going to want this. I have had to travel great distances on some Desertum seeds just to get to this stuff. Like usually, like I said before, it's way up a mountain somewhere and it's a pain to get to. So anytime I turn around and see one of these right next to my crash landing zone, I already feel infinitely better. I don't feel much better seeing this. This is a little bit less inviting, for sure. This is not the welcoming committee that I would want to come visit if I crashed on somebody's planet. That's not what I want to see. But, you know, we could always just head in the other direction. Moving this way, obviously trees are going to be scarce. It's a desert, but there's plenty of stone. So we're going to have, like, I mean, look at that. 183 or 138, my dyslexia showing up. 138 rock chunks right there. So plenty of stone to work with. There's our Dromeda. Hi, we love Dromeda. This is probably my favorite animal in the entire game. The Dromeda is, I don't know, something about them. They're precious. I love them. These are my favorite animals in this entire game. I love these guys. They're precious. Right. Resources. So we have ourselves some sweet syrups. I personally am going to just get, like, I don't know, De Halvin, is this like the same seed that you landed on? So if we're crashed here, right? Which direction am I looking for these arches? I see one arch over here. Scrolling around. Where am I supposed to see 3? Is it these? Are these the arches down here? Did changing the scenario really change the seed? Is that what we've been missing all along? Because sometimes people do comment in my videos and they say, oh, I tried that seed and I got something different. I wonder if this is the missing piece of the puzzle. I don't see 3 arches. I don't know. You can tell me where to look, but I don't know what 3 arches you would be looking at. I can go up the hill and I see this like little pond. Is there a McDonald's nearby? Is that the second arch? Says Latte. Ah, McDonald's sounds so good right now. I haven't eaten yet today. I had a late start, like I said. I am seeing all the usual suspects when it comes to resources here, so it doesn't look like we're climbing any mountains to find them, which is always a plus. I don't know about these arches, though. I do see more nest. I see some of my least favorite players over here. You also have a river. Interesting. I'm not seeing any of that, so I'm just wondering. Are you... Okay, so other question. Are you playing on computer or console? Because I've also heard rumors that that makes a difference as well. So let's figure this out. Let's narrow it down. Let's figure out where the differential is. We're doing some detective work here, live on stream. I do see another little pond. And a tiny little arch, a cute tiny little arch right here. I don't know, I feel like maybe this even, it depends on if you can plant on this soil, because sometimes you like go to an area because you're like, oh, this area is great, it's nice, it's flat. I think I'm seeing grain grass right here, so I'm assuming this area is probably fertile. But sometimes you move to a flat area in the desert and then the ground is not fertile at all and like you can't get anything to grow and it sucks. So you really kind of gotta like, it's trial and error, you know? Grayson, come over here, research this for me. I want to know, is this grain grass? I think it is. That's my bet. I think that's grain grass. You're playing on PC. Okay, so am I. But I'm not seeing the river and I'm not seeing... So let's take a look here real quick. Did I spell this correctly? If you look at the seed name, Court-plane. C-O-U-R-T, tac, P-L-A-N-E, all caps. Did I spell the seed correctly? Let me know. Your arches are in one formation. I don't see them. I didn't see them. We can look again though. Let's figure this out. Because I think this is a question that every player that is watching my seeds videos has. Are we all seeing the same seeds? I think that's what everybody wants to know when they're referencing these videos, because they want to know how to get to the seeds that they like. Yeah, it's spelled the same. Okay. You said all 3 is... My arches are all in the same formation. Alright, I'm going to scroll around. I'm going to look for these arches. I'm seeing lots of nests. Like, really a lot. Like, 1, 2, 3. There's the one behind us, so I'm going to count that as 4 without turning around. We just know it's there. Here's 5. 6. Like, I really think they have us surrounded on this seed. This is like a... I didn't even put it on high difficulty. This is medium difficulty, and we're surrounded by, what did I say, 5 nests? This seed is for the aggressive players, the ones who really want to harvest all those nests. Look at all these dogs! There's like 5 doggos down here. That's so cute. I'm not seeing arches though. Wait, unless... Nope, still not seeing them. I think we just keep coming back to the same one right here. Okay, next question. When did you start that save? Was it before the last update or was it recent? Because if you initially started that seed, like if you've been playing that seed for a year or something, that could be all the difference, because I definitely heard that after the last update, a lot of the seeds changed. Like, your old saves will still be on the same map, but if you start a new save, is what I hear, if you start a new game with the same seed name, you may not be able to navigate back to the same one. Everything that we've tested, though, today from the recommended matched up, aligned with the comments. Like, if they were like, oh, minus that last one where he was like, oh, that's very low on wood, you might have to plant trees. That was the only inconsistency I saw of all those seeds that we reviewed today. Everything else aligned with what they said we were going to find. The tack changed it. You did not have a tack mark? I thought you did. Did I misread? Okay, well, let's fix it. Let's go to main menu. Let's take the tack mark out for science. And we're going to find out if that gets us back to what you were looking for. So let's try it again. C-O-R-T space. What was it again? It's court something. What did the chat say? Court-plane. P-L-A-N-E. So when you first put this, you said Sobrius trading, but when you first put this in the chat, you had a tack mark in it. So we'll try it without the tack mark. But let me know if that's how it's written in your game. Again, Sobrius. Yeah, we're not going to go to... We're going to keep doing crash landing, because that's what we're trying to figure out, is if the scenario changes the seed. Let's find out. Let's see if there's... Wait a minute. You said desert. But then they were... Okay. DeHalvin, you gotta like level with me here, okay? Because you originally put in the chat region Sobrius, scenario trading, seed Court-tac-plane. That is what you originally put in the chat, okay? And then you said to switch it to... Am I reading this correctly? Like, did you say switch it to the desert? Or did I make that up? Yeah, you said, and then try my suggestion on Desertum instead. The tack is auto-added, yeah. Okay, alright. We gotta decide. We gotta decide what we're doing here, because you're giving me two versions of this. You're giving me a Desertum version, and you're giving me a Sobrius version. And, stick with Sobrius, okay. But then I didn't put the tack mark in this one. So is there supposed to be a tack mark? Let's go back to main menu. We're gonna get this right. We're gonna nail it down. I want to mimic exactly what you have, okay? We're going to go back here. We're gonna do Sobrius, and we're gonna do Court-tac-plane as written. And if I do a space, it doesn't add the auto. So if it's written Court-tac-plane in your game, that's what we're gonna put. And we're going to do Sobrius, and we're going to see if it matches. No. No, what part? Before I hit next, before we load this, tell me what part's wrong. This is how we solve this. This is how we figure out why the game does what it does, is we work together and we compare and contrast, and that is how we know what's causing what in the game. So Delhaven, I'm gonna like pause here, I'm gonna take a drink, and I'm gonna wait and see what you say. If what I have on screen looks right, let me know it looks right and we will proceed. I got a message retracted. What is happening? What is going on right now in the chat? What is happening? They might be reloading their game. That might be what's happening, is they're reloading it to check it so that we can make sure we get this right. Oh, okay, so we're good to go. Let's hit next. Let's start. Let's see what happens to our map. There is a huge lake. Were you saying that just a second ago? Do you see a lake? Yeah, I see a lake. It's huge. Okay, I think we've solved this. I think we have it figured out now. All right, let's spin her around and take a look at this massive lake. I would live on this lake. I would do it. I don't live on a lake now. I do live on a channel, I guess. I just recently moved, in fact. I hope to do a home tour video soon on my art channel, not on this channel, not on the gaming channel, but on my art channel. I want to put together like a home tour video for my new home. But I just moved to San Pedro, Los Angeles, so it's right on the water, which is amazing. I love it. San Pedro is technically still part of Los Angeles, but I was moving from like Los Angeles proper down here to San Pedro, and yeah, anyway, point is I'm close to the water, and I'm so I can walk to the water from my house. I don't have to like get in the car and drive, which is nice. It's so nice. But I'm losing my voice. Let's check this out. So we have ourselves the lake. My goodness, my voice is going. It's really flat too, leading up to the lake. Look at all of this. Look at all this material. I would build here. I would absolutely build here. I like this better than the Desertum one. For sure. Sobrius, 10,000%. I would build here. We do still have our baddies right next door, so they're like just chilling over here. But resources, we're rolling in the resources. I see the grain cob, I see the berries, I see the melons. They're all right here. We have the cloth alternative. There's this interesting valley here. I think if we continue through this valley, we're going to see tons of this ore that we can mine for a later game, for later gameplay. There we go. Cloth blossom. Boom. There's the mushrooms as well. So everything you need is right here. I'm seeing that right away, like spotting it, like boom, 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 boom. This is really good for like short distance research. You don't have to like go really far out of your way to research resources that you need. Pocolate says we need to walk to the water stream then. So when I do my home tour, it's going to be an interior tour. I'm not showing you the outside of my house because I'm not trying to dox myself. I don't want you guys showing up at my doorstep. Like, that would be too risky. Not that I don't mind you guys, but I don't want strangers that I don't trust, I don't interact with, just some rando showing up at my door. That would not be good. That would not be safe. So unfortunately, I cannot walk you to the water from my house because that would absolutely give away where I live. That's just, can't be doing that. But I might do some videos, like maybe journaling, like again for my art channel, not for my gaming channel. And if you're interested, by the way, if you're only following my gaming channel, you can get to my art channel from the links on my game channel. I'm pretty sure I have it linked, or from my Discord if you want to join the Discord. That's another way to find my other videos, because I do create a whole lot of other videos for my other hobbies and interests. Besides gaming, I have all my art stuff. And on my art channel, it's way more of just me as a person. So you're going to get more than just art there. You're going to get other things, including like the home tour. But I might do like travel, my travel sketchbook down by the water or something like that. So we might see more of that over there. Okay, so that said, Del DeHalvin has confirmed this is the right seed. This is what they meant for us to find. So mission accomplished. We have verified that changing the scenario does not change the seed. So if you see any of these seeds that you want to play on, but you want to play something other than Crash Landing, the seed should still be the same. I can see a cat over here. There he goes. The seed should still be the same. even if you're changing the scenario for your gameplay, which is great, which is what I thought was the case, and now we've confirmed it, which is also really good. Are the 3 arches there? I think that was for the Desertum side, so I don't think we have to check for arches on this. That would be if we were on the Desertum seed. But for this one, everything is how it should be, and honestly, it's a gorgeous seed as well. So I agree with the suggestion. Thank you for sharing it to Helvin. I think it was worth the wait. But there's a cat growing out of your chair. I know. They're gonna cross back and forth back here sometimes. I am gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream here. It was so good to go through all of these seeds that players have been recommending, and I'm so glad that we finally got around to it, because I've been promising this video for months, and I finally did it. And I just want to cheer a little bit, because it's such a relief to have actually gone through and genuinely seen all the seeds for the first time, and to get like a real reaction and share why these are great seeds with you, not just from my observations, but from the commenter themselves. And I appreciate you guys joining me on this journey. We are gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and I will see you guys next time. And again, if you haven't already, please like the video, please subscribe. I would love to have you join us in the future on streams and other videos. And if you're interested in all that other stuff we talked about, make sure to join the Discord so you can keep up with all the other things we have going on here. And that's it. Thank you all for being here. I will see you next time.